What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It has been an absolute long time. I about tripped all over the place, and this might be kind of a shaky video because it has really been a while. I think it's been like 2 months. Anyways, I'm still balls deep in this house renovation. Work is rocking and rolling, and we just, well, you know, life. You guys get it. I've had a couple of people, friends, be like, yeah, you need to make this video, like, and you know, because there's always, when Harley changes something, an adjustment changes. So, you know, we are going to go over how to adjust a clutch properly on your new 2024 through 2025. It is pretty simple, but there is something different that I do because I really don't like what Harley has said in terms of the amount of free play that you're supposed to have. So let's get into this and not do any talking. So for today we have a 2024 gray is the new black Street Glide. I'm going to be doing a service on this bike, but what we're focusing on today is primarily just how to adjust your clutch, and I'll give you a little bonus tip at the end, so stick with me because we're going to get into it. So first things first, what we're going to do, we're going to get the derby cover off, and then we'll kind of do this. All right, so derby cover off, we have our pressure plate and we have our adjuster and the jam nut. I've got a special tool that I use. It's a Craftsman wrench. I will try to find it and link it in the description below, or, you know, whatever. And we're going to need one other tool, which I'm going to show you. So the Craftsman wrench, it's just an angled, one end is a 5/8, the other end is an 11/16, and then I use a T-handle 7/32, and those are literally the tools that you need to adjust your clutch. And so we're gonna pop over and get this jam nut broke loose, and then we will go to the other side of the motorcycle. So before we go any further, it's probably important to reference what the manual says. So we're gonna look at that because I want you guys to see that I don't really agree with what the manual says, and I've been adjusting these clutches the same way, well, for a long time now. And well, I don't have any issues out of this. This is another way to go around your elbow to get to your hole. We're far enough in, I can say asshole. But let's look and see what the manual says. All right, so basically what the manual is saying is they want you to take a ruler and then measure with a force scale and to see what your free play is at the specific. Your second line is 300 thousandths, your third line is 630 thousandths. This is based off of the pulling pressure of 4 pounds. Like, really, are we gonna go through all of that just to adjust our clutch? Absolutely not. The other thing that I wanna mention is they tell us in the manual to take the adjuster screw in the jam nut, bust the jam nut loose, and then roll this in until it lightly seats. Now, here's where I have a problem with this. The problem being is when you go to lubricate your clutch and, you know, all the components necessary within the clutch, you do not have enough room to pull the cable out, put some lube in it, and go on with your business. Hi, me again. So what we're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to push your coolant reservoir out of the holder, just like that. There is a vent line that hooks into here, and I'll zoom in on this, but you just unhook that, and then you just take and you pop this forward, and then do a little rotation, and then this comes out. Next, what you're going to do is just slide the clutch dust cover up. This reveals the adjuster, slack adjuster. You're going to pinch the red clip on the back side and push it forward. It'll pop out. It should look like this. It'll be like this. It'll be pushed in. Just like that. Now what I like to do is I like to face it back towards me and go over on the other side and then reach through and then depress the clutch lever so that I can then push this in. And I'll leave this angle over here so you can see what I'm doing. Now we have not broke this jam nut loose, and we do have free play. Now it gets towards the end, you can feel a little tension. That is the clutch adjuster or the clutch lever pushing on the forcing rod and forcing this out. So we have free play in the lever. Now we're going to come down here and we're going to bust this loose. I'm going to take this all the way out of adjustment so that I can then get up here and put some lube in this cable so I can finish this service. All right, so let's take and bust our jam nut loose. Just a little pop. Roll your jam nut out a little bit. And then let's actually back this up just a little bit so I can get my tool in here. And then we're going to roll this out. And this is kind of hard working in front of the camera. All right, so we're out. I always take and roll it in one thread so that it doesn't fall out. All right, so with our clutch completely out of adjustment, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of fluid to it just to make sure it's nice and buttery smooth. And, well, I'll lube up the hinge points and whatever else. But these, on a street glide, they're kind of a pain to get the clutch cable out of the housing and to be able to adjust it. Road glides, they're actually pretty easy, but the street glides, they're a little bit more of a pain in the ass. Put it in. Get this back in where it belongs. Get it back seated. You'll feel where it goes back in. It can only really sit in one spot. With our clutch now lubed, it's completely out of adjustment. Now we start working backwards from the way that we work. We're gonna do our adjustment and then we're gonna go over to the other side and then we're going to use the adjuster on the cable to take up and give us our free play. Now if you're doing just a clutch adjustment only, you can do as the manual says, which it says to break this jam nut loose, roll it in till it touches, and then back off 3/4 to 1 full turn, then go over, pop your clutch cable loose, take the adjustment out of it. I'm gonna show you how I do the adjustment side of things so that it gives you the right free play. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in, all right, so now we're starting to touch because it's an abrupt stop. I'll pump the clutch cable a couple of times. See, and there we go. All we're doing is we're seating that forcing rod. Okay, so we have a light drag. Now all I'm doing is light pressure on my T-handle. I'm not forcing it or gripping it like this because I need to be able to feel what's going on. I need to feel that tension. So I'll go back and forth a few times to find that sweet spot, that nice drag point where it just stops. And the nice thing is so if you mentally can't figure out where 3/4 or a half is, you can always, like if it ends up like this, you can always take your Allen wrench out or your T-handle and move it without moving the adjuster until you get something that you can visually reference. So now with this at its stopping point, we will go 1/2 and then 3/4. That's not quite 3/4, but. And then I'll take and spin the jam nut down with my fingers. I hold this, pull my Allen wrench, my T-handle out, put my T-handle back in, and now I'm holding pressure on this, and I just take that jam nut and take that out, give it one good pop. It does not need to be hammered tight, like that's all it is, just a jam nut. So with our adjuster plate adjusted properly, so now you see I have a little bit more, it's grabbing earlier. So we want to take up that amount of free play to where we have about 3/16 of an inch. That typically gives to where the clutch lever is going to release about midway. If you want it to release further out, you make your clutch adjust or your free play tighter. If you want it to release sooner, you can have your free play release sooner to where you have like that much free play. But if you really want it to release that soon, you would go one full turn out. Now you just rotate that adjuster and then put pressure down, and you can pop that, and then that spring will actually pull tension up. There's a mosquito in here. So I'm gonna lock this down initially to see where the clutch adjustment is. So what you wanna do is you wanna pump the handle 3 times, and then you can check and see with light pressure with your thumb, you can see that's about 3/16 of an inch. So actually this clutch adjustment is going to be pretty dang good. So I'm pretty satisfied with this. So now we're just going to slide our dust cover back over it. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, this thing, especially on a bike that's got fairing lowers, these things are an absolute pain in the dick. Now everything is going to be reverse of what we did. We're going to come in here at an angle. We'll pop this on. We'll put our reservoir bottle back in, and then our drain or our vent line, it's got a little snazzy clip that needs to go in. Super easy. So with any service, always put you a new O-ring on. I'm really weird. I'll take and wipe out the center. Why? I don't know. And then I wad my rag up, and then I wipe out where that derby cover O-ring sits. Put your O-ring in there. Make sure it's seated all the way around. This doesn't need anything to seat it. It just sits in there. Make sure our 117 is facing up. Now, for those of you that are wondering what the torque spec on this is, I will put that right here. It is 84 to 110 inch-pounds for your derby cover screws. They do not need to be put on with Ugga-Duggas. Now I'm going to put it on with an Ugga-Dugga, but this is not like any other Ugga-Dugga. This is actually a screw gun with a clutch. And I've been doing this long enough that I know what the tension should feel like for 84 to 110 inch-pounds. I always do a star pattern and then a little bump afterwards. Bonus tip. So check this out. I had a customer come in. He was having some electrical issues. This was on a 24 CVO. Anyways, he left out of here. I'd never messed with his clutch, but after he left, the day after, he called up here and was like, I'm stuck on the side of the road. He's like, my clutch is broke. And he was kind of mad at us about the situation. Once we calmed him down, we're like, look, Mr. Customer, you know, we didn't mess with your clutch. This kind of thing can happen, especially with these like little red clip things. I've made a video about this once before. I'll put that up there so you can see what I'm talking about. But if you are stuck on the side of the road, this will work, because I had to think about how I could get this man off the side of the road from here. So if you take a couple of zip ties, and I'll show you. So basically what the clutch adjuster does is it allows free play. Now when that little red clip breaks, this can go all the way back to the handle, right? So if you take and you pull out on your clutch cable and put you some zip ties in between the clutch cable and the line, that should give you enough travel to where the clutch will work. That should give you just enough tension on the clutch line to give you some clutch effort so that you can RPM shift and get yourself back home or to a dealer to inspect why the clutch cable broke. Now, the gentleman that had the clutch cable that broke, he had the Fat Baggers extension on here. We did not have the piece that I referenced in the other video that I posted just a second ago that stops these from breaking. So once we explained all that to him, he was like, oh, okay. He's like, well, I'm not mad at you guys. I know you didn't do anything. So just something real quick, if you are stuck on the side of the road, make sure, and it is a clutch issue, you can get yourself off the side of the road. I know most of us DIYers, you guys carry a plethora of things, wrenches, torques, zip ties. So in a pinch, there are certain ways to get yourself out of it. Again, if you have any questions, comments, hit it up down below. I'll be happy to answer them. I do answer every comment that comes this way through this channel. Also, if you email me, I respond to emails. I'm happy to help in any way, guys. So, yeah, back. I'm going to get this motorcycle assembled the rest of the way, put the floorboard on, take it for a test ride, check the oil, all that good stuff. Guys, like, I know this has been a while, and I've had a lot going on, especially with this home renovation. So as the videos start to come, wait. Look at this guy. It's been a while since he's been on camera.
First you said, who's this guy? Now you say, who is this guy? Fact.
We still say, who's this guy?
You lie.
I don't lie. I sit on a throne of lies, but I'm not the father of lies. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. I hope this helps. There seems to be a lot of confusion because I have had several people reach out to me and be like, man, you got a video on this, so I've been accused of talking too much, and I mean, y'all just enjoy my personality so much that I can't help but talk to you guys. Again, father of lies, or I sit on a throne of lies. Guys, I'm gonna finish my job, and I've already done 3 inspections, installed 1 GPS unit, working on this while trying to film. Being a flat rate tech is hard when it comes to filming, so that's another reason why. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that like button and subscribe if you got value out of this, because I can't do this without you. I'm already almost at 6,000 subscribers, so just keep going up. Just keeps going up. So y'all take it easy. I'm gone.